Hey guys, here at Gaming and Chill, we pride ourselves on having good, clean sounding audio. However, this week is not one of those weeks. While saving, we lost Derrick's Maya audio, and that caused a crash. However, we did have a backup, but it doesn't sound nearly as good. So, on behalf of all of us, I would like to apologize and thank you for continuing to listen. So, without further ado, I give you the episode. What's going on, everybody? It's Derrick.
It's Meesh.
It's Doug.
And it's the Uncle Sam, and welcome to the Gaming and Chill podcast.
Number 87. Today on the show, we will be discussing what's been going on lately, why Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game,
Fight me.
Left 4 Dead 3, and Jared Leto as Morbius, the living vampire. But before we do all that, this episode is sponsored by Humble Bundle.
We here at the Gaming and Chill podcast would like to thank our affiliate Humble Bundle, where you can buy games, ebooks, and software for pennies on the dollar while supporting charities and the podcast at the same time. To learn more, visit our website at www.gamingandchillpodcast.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, and click on our partner logo. This week's featured bundle is the DC Comics and Graphic Audio Bundle. Ever wondered what Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and the Green Lantern would sound like on an old-school radio show, minus the blatant old-time misogyny? Well, look no further. Comics and Graphic Audio narrates some of your favorite superhero adventures in crisp, clean audio with modern special effects. This bundle includes over 22 audiobooks for your enjoyment. For all of you looking for a replacement to the awful DC live-action movies, I would recommend giving it a look. Back to you, Derrick.
Yay, Humble Bumble!
What's been going on, guys? How are you guys doing this week?
It's been pretty crazy, right?
Yeah, tired.
I can only imagine Meesh is extra tired.
So, Meesh, tell the audience, what did you do this week?
Yeah, so this week I took my youth group to camp,
I'm sorry.
and
How many?
not only did it, I had two from my church go, but I was placed in charge of about 14 middle school going into high school boys.
Oh no.
And I already apologized to my mom, and I called her to apologize when I was done, because I thought, I thought there was a little bit more control over facilities, especially at that age. I was horribly mistaken.
Like mental facilities, or
No, like, a human body, when it takes water in, it's got to put water back out. And
All over the trail.
yeah, so normally it's compared to like what people would call like an AR or something like that, short control burst, whatever. No, they basically had blunderbusses, and it kind of got all over the place. But it's okay. There was only a few culprits. We got it taken care of by the end of the week, but it was hot. There was a lot of storms. Like 5 trees fell during the camp. No one was in danger. If one of the trees would have fallen in either way that was perpendicular to it, it would have hit a cabin, but it was all right.
so
And,
close?
Those kids were expendable anyway. They were wearing red shirts that day.
Actually, we were the orange cabin. The
Close
red
enough.
cabin was the other direction.
Close enough. It
Same
falls
colors.
within it.
But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the week. We all joked about it. Our cabin was the oldest one on camp, and when you walked in, it just smelled musty, because it was like, I don't want to say untreated plywood, but it was definitely that plywood smell when you walked in.
You don't want to
And
say it was
so-
untreated, but we all know it was untreated.
Well, I mean, it was easy to live in, and I'm sure plenty of people would have loved to live in a place like it.
Oh yeah.
Wait, which camp did you go to?
It's in Schaefer. Well, not Schaefer, Kentucky, because it doesn't exist. It's called Camp Schaefer.
Oh, okay.
It's over in like Hawesville. It's about 15 minutes southeast of Owensboro.
Yeah, I'll say, because if you went to the camp we worked at, there would have been casualties, I'm sure.
Oh, there almost were. We didn't have archery or anything with like firearms or whatever like that, but there were still almost casualties. But we all made it through the week. It was fine. It was good. Met a lot of really cool young men who I know that will have a successful life. And hopefully, I mean, I gave them all the podcast like URL. So if you're listening, shout out to Mildew Cabin because that's what we called
Shout out
ourselves.
to Mildew.
That's what it ended up being. It was called Milton, but we all lovingly named it Mildew and accepted that name.
Well, I mean, it's camping.
Yeah. But yeah, it was fine. It was tiring. I had to wake up at 6:30 every morning, and so if anyone knows me, they know that's a completely against my person.
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. I'm trying to feel sorry for you. Yeah, I do, actually.
Yeah.
He's like, that's against my religion, getting up there.
I mean, I'm the dude who scheduled all of his classes the spring of his sophomore year, to be 2:30 or later. That way I could roll out of bed at 1, get down to the cafeteria before they stop serving lunch, and then get to class.
Let me tell you, especially in school, I remember my very first years, like all my morning classes, and then as I went through school, they progressively got later and later.
See, I liked all mine early, because then I could screw around with the rest of the day. It was like I got to get up whenever, or I got to get up early, go to class, and then I got to screw around.
Yeah, the only reason why I feel like necessarily okay with sharing the fact that, I mean, boys can't aim very well is the fact that the director of the camp calls us out in front of every single person on the camp for that. And like, this is mixed company. This is boys and girls, and I'm like,
is this the bathroom, or is this like out in the woods that he's?
this is the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I was
if it's
gonna
out in
say,
the woods,
one
who
thing-
cares?
Yeah, who cares? I'm like, man. I mean, we used to write our name in the snow and like.
Lemon flavored snow.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to make sure you save up enough to dot the I at the end.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can see calling people out like, guys, come on.
Yeah, if it's an indoor bathroom, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But it was a good week. I enjoyed it, even though I was super tired and didn't have any fire connectivity to anything. It's definitely a character building experience for anyone because you realize exactly how quick you are to want to do things you can't take back. But it's an exercise in that because you have to be a role model for these younger boys. So
I remember going to camp.
yeah.
Or not going to camp, but working at camp, and
Isn't that how you guys met Josh?
yeah, that is how we met Josh, and
Yeah.
how we all discovered that we all didn't ever want to go back to camp, huh?
Shout out to Josh. Woo!
Old roommates.
I think, yeah, he was all of our roommates because we all lived in the same cabin, and then you guys were roommates with him.
Well, I wasn't really a roommate, but I did live with him for like 2 weeks.
Counts.
Oh, there you go. It counts.
It counts.
It's good.
I mean, it looks like we came out of the same Play-Doh factory, so I'm good with that.
Nice.
What about you, Doug? What have you been up to?
Got my new glasses.
Nice.
How do you like them?
I really like them. I love them. I can actually see now without worrying that they're just gonna like fall apart and be like, "Welp, I'm doomed."
Right. You got your bike this week, didn't you?
I did.
How
I
are
had
you
that
liking
all-
riding around?
I had to adjust the bolts last night so that way the seat sat lower.
I thought you already did
So
that.
No, I needed a square bolt key, but
Um,
I used my multi-tool and just kind of, probably stripped the screw
Fair
and
enough.
Lowered the seat.
Nice.
So yeah, I did that. Haven't really gotten to bike around on it because I came home late last night, adjusted it, and I'm like, I'm not gonna go biking at like 11 o'clock at night.
Especially in your side of the town.
Yeah. And then I had the best intentions of doing that this morning if I woke up early. I did not wake up early.
Nice.
And then, yeah, pretty much just hung out.
Sounds like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Derek?
Let's see. Lots of streaming.
Yeah.
Always lots of streaming. And I've had really good streams this week with Pokken Tournament. Thank you, Doug.
welcome.
Suggested by Doug, by the way. Was turned down for a job.
Hey.
Nice.
Shoutouts for failed job applications. But that's okay. What else? And not a whole lot else. Ordered rollerblades.
What? Wait, what?
Wait, I think we're about
like
to
90s
complete.
again?
Okay, everyone, head back to our podcast, like URL, our gamingandchillpodcast.com, and just go look at the photos of the employees.
Hey, I
No,
have
I mean-
lost quite a bit of weight already.
Regardless,
Yes, he
the
has.
only one who should think about putting on rollerblades is probably Sam, and even then, it's a bad idea.
Can we just
No.
discuss? Meesh, you have a scooter. I have a bike. Derrick has rollerblades.
Hey,
What's
hey,
Sam gonna
I have a bike as well.
Well, I decided
stick.
that I was going to go get like an off-road longboard and
You get
You
moon
mean a
boots.
mountain board?
yeah, whatever those things are.
Get it gas powered?
It sounds like we're getting ready to form the coolest Pokemon gang ever.
It's like wasn't there a '90s like Nickelodeon show about this?
Rollerblader Derrick wants to battle.
Rocket power?
There you go, Rocket Power.
That Game Boy game was the best game I think I've ever played.
No,
I say that with the
Bionicle.
least amount of best actually meaning.
The 7-Up dot game. But no, seriously, it sounds like we're getting ready to form a Pokemon gang. Biker Doug wants to battle. Scooter Boy Meesh wants to battle. I couldn't think of Scooter whatever.
Scooter Man.
I'm just gonna say my bike puts Doug's bike in the dirt with how cool my bike is.
I have
Yeah.
the never flat tires, so I can run over nails.
Yeah, but I have the 4-inch tires.
Oh.
Mine are bigger.
Hey, that's what it comes down to sometimes.
I have a little bell on the front of mine.
Bring, bring, bring,
I
bring.
have a train horn.
I could just imagine like someone's like I'm doing that across the walking bridge, and someone hears this bring 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 bring. And I was just like, oh, some little kid. They're not moving. Bring 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 bring. Get out of the way.
Move!
You just get the scoop on the front that can push them off to the side. Or it's like the war rig from
Yeah,
Mad
the
Max.
And then I got my GoPro mounted up to the little mount for the GoPro on the bike, and yeah,
Nice.
I can't
Yeah.
get one on my helmet, being as I know I whip my head around way too much.
Do you wear a helmet?
Yeah,
Pansy.
and then I
That's
have
actually
one
a
so that
really
way I can,
smart thing to do, bro.
yeah, I have the suction cup so I can actually put a GoPro on either on my dashboard of my car when I drive around, or I can put it to the side of the car for really low shots, which I don't think I would ever do.
Well,
you
here's
could
the
get a
thing,
tether.
though.
You could get a tether to make sure it doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
You could get a tether and a kite.
Ooh.
Uh,
What's that thing falling from the sky? Whack! Ow!
is that a GoPro? Gosh, come on, guys.
And it
World
catches
star.
the and it catches the moment it sails through their soft skull.
It's waterproof, so it doesn't matter.
And then a random eagle comes and picks it up.
Anyway, Sam, what have you been doing this week?
This week was pretty crazy. I wasn't here last week, of course, because I had to go get my tags renewed in Georgia,
Ooh,
which was an absolute pain because they still do emissions testing, like something about, oh, we got to keep the environment.
It's Georgia.
Yeah, it's Georgia, but it's like, hey, you have to get your emissions test in order to renew your plates. It's like, oh, come on. So we had to drive all the way back down there with a 5-month-old baby, or
I think I'd rather go to
baby.
camp.
Yeah. Well, the best part about it is we left work at 6 o'clock.
AM
Found a
PM.
house or PM.
Okay.
So we're like, oh, we're just gonna drive through the night, get to Atlanta, and then not have to do anything the next day. Well, it turns out there was a house we really wanted to take a look at. So before we left, we swung by this house. We couldn't get inside because we couldn't arrange a viewing that quickly.
That's quitter
So-
speak.
Yeah, so we went through
It's
and we're
called
like,
a rock.
okay.
Pick one up, Sam.
So nothing like saying I'm interested in your house than a B&E.
Bacon and eggs?
Sweet.
But yeah, so we go to this place. We decide we're really interested in it. Set up a meeting so our realtor and Allison's parents could take a look at it the next day, and then we leave Louisville about like 7:30, and it's like, oh, it's gonna be really late when we get in. We get past Nashville, and the Tennessee Department of Transportation thinks it's a genius idea to close 3 out of 4 lanes of a highway only for the night. And we hit the traffic just as they were closing everything up. Turns out they were only paving one section of road, but they had to clear all 3 of them. We didn't end up actually getting to Atlanta until about 4 a.m.
All right, Sam. I need you to not discriminate because you said the Tennessee Department of
Transportation.
whatever. No, it's just DOT.
Yeah, it's any department
Yep.
of transportation.
There was an old joke in Tennessee. What do you call 3 guys standing out there, heads propped up on the shovel? T-Dot.
Management.
Management. But yeah, so we got that. Well, next day, got a phone call at like 8 in the morning giving us an update of what this house looked like, and turns out there wasn't anything wrong with it, so we made an offer on it and they accepted it. So that's been big news for this week. So
Really buried the lead there.
yeah.
Let me tell you about my rollerblades.
I'll tell you about the robots. But yeah, so we're going through and we're excited about that, potentially having a office room as well as a kind of a garage for us to have a studio in. So who knows? If
Hey.
everything goes through,
And a possible another bedroom for Micah.
possibly.
Did you not hear about the backyard?
Hey,
What?
don't
You were just
tempt me.
camping. You were just camping. Get in.
He has the. Oh no, he left the hammock with the snappers. But
Trust
yeah,
me, I don't need a hammock.
so we went through, and while we were down in Atlanta, we also went to a Braves game. Braves won, so go Braves. And that's pretty much been my entire week. Other than that, nothing too much.
I would like to point out that might have actually been the first time anyone on the podcast has ever talked about sports and
Take it
know
back.
who won.
Take it back, Sam.
Take it back. No. I'm a hometown hero.
87 episodes, and I don't think we've ever had someone legitimately go, and then I went and seen this sports team, and I know who won.
Yeah.
I ruined a tradition. Sorry, guys.
We almost made it to 100.
Dishonor on your family. Dishonor on your cow.
But yeah, that's pretty much been my week, man.
Nice. You really buried the lead on that one.
I really feel bad that you were the one who went last, but I'm kind of glad because it kind of gave everyone something like, "Yeah, that's cool," and it's like, "And I bought a house."
But did you hear about my rollerblades? No.
But did you hear about Derrick's rollerblades? That's something that I really was like not expecting. It's like, and I bought rollerblade. What?
Then I bought an industrial pogo stick.
And then I bought domestic beetles. To be fair, they're only $50 on Amazon.
Weren't we going to order like an ant farm?
Yeah. Well, I feel like we are going to order an ant farm, bonsai trees, kilts. I mean, we have a weird Amazon list now.
Yeah, unfortunately, our supervisor, every time we ask her something, she just looks at us. It's like, are you guys just idiots? It's like, you should know the answer to that question.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
thing is-
Doug's employee of the week last week, so that's kind of cool.
That was scary opening up that email. It's like I'm sitting there with my future brother-in-law, who's now working with us and training with him, and I hear this, ding! That's my email. Open it up, click into it. Oh my lord! What? Why?
Yeah, Doug and I's new pictures for our ID badges looks like legit mugshots. It looks like I killed somebody and I actually framed Doug for doing
Yeah, but I got brought in for questioning.
It almost looks like my passport. One day I'll upload that picture once it expires.
Nice.
Sam's looks like a murderer, and I look like homeless Rasputin.
In defense, it's a pretty accurate picture. Nice.
It's been almost a year. Well, September will make a year of not shaving.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, get on my level, bro.
Nice. Anything else, gentlemen? Before we go on to our main topics?
So I have a question.
Yes.
Why did you order rollerblades?
Okay. It is part of my master plan. With rollerblades,
Oh
I can.
goodness!
What? What my
Part
master
of my
plan?
master. You've gone too far.
I bet you Sam
You
can
need to
probably
be
guess
stopped.
it.
You absolute madman.
I bet you Sam can guess it. And I bet you might, Doug. It is to basically teach myself to balance on the wheels, and to teach myself to push off using the angles of my feet, so that I can eventually, one day, learn to ice skate.
I knew that was somewhere in there.
Even though I wasn't the one who you said would know something about it, because you had no faith in me knowing it, I figured it was to learn how to ice skate.
Yeah.
Hey.
Just wanted to let you know you may have taken Yuri on ice too far.
Hey now. Hey.
This is what dreams are made of, Sam.
Do not crap on my dreams.
I will be a figure skater.
I already do that enough myself.
Okay, I just want to make this funny mental image for you all. Imagine one day that I eventually become good on ice skates, and I eventually do learn how to do all those things, and become an ice skater. And it's like, what did you used to do? I used to be a desk jockey before I even taught myself. It's like, I didn't even do anything. I was not a child star. I was a Twinkie man.
We forgot to mention our special guest.
Yeah, well, no, that wasn't Podcat. That was my cat.
Streamcat.
Yeah, that was Streamcat.
Derrick, if you ever get to a competition, I will make a deal with you right now that I will go through and record myself singing the national anthem for the Soviet Republic. Just for you.
That's coming from Uncle Sam.
Sounds like a thing a synth would say.
No, here's the thing. If he gets into the national championships, we can't pay to use the song that he'd need. Like, we can't get that copyright that we'd need to be able to have him perform with it. So we'd have to do a cover of whatever song it ends up being.
With like kazoos and like recorders.
Kazoo, melodica, recorder,
My question
Vinova.
is that technically, is it really actually copywritten if it's from a different country?
Well, I think because it would be in a performance piece like that, you would let the competition know, and they would actually be the one to be able to license it.
Ooh, good point. Good call. How do you know
We
that?
could get any song, whatever.
You could do that to Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yeah. Or something from Rocky Horror Picture Show. Anyway, let's move on. You said something about synths, Doug. And
Yes.
I really wish that was a smoother transition. However, Fallout New Vegas got a dose of tabletop storytelling. So, Sam, I know you're a huge Fallout fan. Why don't you lead us on this one a little bit?
Yeah, so basically this article that we're going to go over through IGN is talking about how Vegas really was the Uber Fallout game, or New Vegas was the Uber Fallout game. And I happen to agree with this. I think we were actually talking about this on my stream the other day as I was going through Fallout 3, is that Vegas, as far as the storyline goes, was more open-ended, which they basically explained kind of how they utilized classic tabletop games in order to design the missions, the campaign, as well as just the feeling and environment of New Vegas itself, with Obsidian Entertainment, of course, because Obsidian took lead whenever New Vegas was actually released. Bethesda had a major part, but it was really Obsidian that had more to do with the story and campaign line.
I can see it. I mean, thinking about the multiple different factions you can join, I feel like that's very quintessentially like Dungeons and Dragons.
What I really enjoyed from this article is them discussing that they assume that once you talk to a character, you kill that character.
Basically.
And so that was really cool, because that is a true tabletop thing of like, oh, hey, I want to immediately do the thing. The thing that comes to mind was a while back ago, I was playing D&D with my fiance and a couple friends, and we were, I was telling the story, and they're in a cart going to the city, and my fiance just decided to Spartan kick someone out of a cart. No real reason. The frustrating thing for a DM, hilarious thing, like hilarity ensued, and it was hilarious. But it was just like, why would you do that? Like, why? But that makes sense. That's how they design New Vegas, because like they give you energy weapons and like all these kind of cool toys that are just like, now don't shoot anyone who doesn't deserve it. Guess what? Everyone deserves it in Fallout.
And that's what a quick save is for.
Exactly.
Yup.
See, the difference between New Vegas and Fallout 3 and 4 really has to be when you're playing through it, you can't accidentally like finish the game. Like, oh hey, I remember when I was playing Fallout 3 the first time through, I was so excited. I never really played a Bethesda game, and I just kept doing the main missions, and I finished the game and the storyline in less than a day. And I was like, what? It's like, that was it? Sitting there, it's like, that was Fallout. New Vegas, it is nothing like that, where it's like, Fallout 3, you have to go find your dad. New Vegas, you wake up as some dude with no background except for, hey, you used to carry packages for people, and you were shot through the head, don't really remember anything, and you get to choose, hey, who am I going to go with? Am I going to go with the kind of elitist Legion, or am I going to go with the semi-corrupt or completely corrupt NCR, or am I going to be a complete anarchist and just burn both groups down?
And I think that speaks to the difference between like Obsidian and Bethesda. Bethesda games are, shallow as a teaspoon, but wide as the ocean. Whereas like Fallout New Vegas was so deep, but its scope was a little bit smaller because like the geographical area and just the kind of, there's like 3 or 4 factions, and there's like a handful of people in the world because they assume you're going to kill everyone. So let's not make everything hinge on 3-4 characters. Let's give them all something to do, but assume you kill them afterwards.
Oh yeah, and even for people who decide that they don't want to go with I'm going to kill everybody, the reason why I like the way it works is that no matter which faction you choose, you still can find other factions. For example, like the Great Khans, the old biker gang that doesn't have bikes anymore, which is kind of funny. But they go through, and no matter which group you play with, you can actually become friends with them. You can do all their quests, and then you can kill them all if you want to, and it doesn't affect anything else throughout the rest of the game. You go through and you meet another group, and you get to choose how you relate with them. Like, you can go through and do their mission, and it's like, great. You can become the best friends, leave them alone, and there's really nothing that you're missing by not doing one thing or the other.
Yeah, I mean, I see that, and then I'm like, I look at like Fallout 4, and there's like no choice. I feel like I don't think you get to join. I don't think you get the option to join the foundation or whatever it's called.
Oh, you do.
You don't have the option. You have the option to join Brotherhood of Steel.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
You have the option to join the Brotherhood of Steel, or to be like hands off and be the Minutemen, or you can be part of the Railroad. And then, if at the very end, you can choose to become part of like the Institute kind of deal. But the thing about it is, it's really weird because you become a member of a faction, and then it's just like, oh, I can still shoot down all the members of my faction. And I can still do this. Like, oh, I got all the stuff from being a member of this faction. Well, guess it's time to kill everybody now.
Well, and one thing I liked about New Vegas that they did, that they talk about in this article that we have, is the fact that you can disappoint people both in real life and in the game.
Yeah.
Because they talk about the sharecropper farm and the quest. You accept a quest, and it's about the water.
This happened to me.
He loses the plot of land, thanks for nothing. And it's like, oh, hey, I accepted that quest like at the very beginning of the game. And this dude was still waiting for me to tell me he was disappointed with me. And I think that's just an absolute wonderful thing, because then, hey, look at that. I disappoint people in both fictional and reality, so mission accomplished.
Right?
That's one of my favorite missions of all time, actually, because there's a secondary part of that mission where you go to the vault to try and figure out where the water is going, and it turns out that like there are people trapped in the bottom of the vault, and depending on where you divert the water to, it'll like either save them or it will kill them and save the crops. Well, I went through and I'm like, you know what? I'll go ahead and save people. You never like go through and it says, hey, you did this or you did that. Only like I want to say maybe 2 days game time later, you go to like the refugee camp and there's a couple of people wearing a vault uniform saying, hey, thank you so much for saving us. Wait, what? It's like, who are you people? Randomly throughout the game.
It's not
like,
it's not that readily apparent. Like quest, activity, reward. Quest, activity, reward. I feel like that's with Fallout. It was like with Fallout 4. It was like, here's a quest, here's an action, here's your reward immediately, and then it was like, and that's it.
Also, I would like to say the expansion material for New Vegas was so much better than Fallout 3 and Fallout. Well, I don't know. I like Fallout 4's Nuka because
it's like
pokes fun at
Disneyland and Coca-Cola.
Yeah, it pokes fun at Coke and Disneyland at the same time, which is
Now, I liked the idea that it was a different environment. Like New Vegas, it was like, hey, there's just pretty much just a desert.
oh yeah.
Whereas in 3 and 4, it was pretty much like, it's kind of a mountainous-esque city landscape. There's not really like a different range of terrain. So it just felt like the exact same color across the entire map.
Oh yeah.
And that's, I mean, diverting just a little bit. That's what I'm excited about Fallout 76.
Yeah,
That's where I was
Like,
going to
there's
go with
actual
it.
color.
The thing about Fallout 76 is from the trailer, if this is actual gameplay, what I'm really hoping is that they didn't just like do this for the cinematic effect, because I know when I run it on my computer, since I don't have the latest 1080 graphics card, that it's or the 1080 Ti, it's not going to look just like they displayed it on the exhibit. But at the same time, the colors they had in that particular like display, as well as the weather, is what I'm really excited about. It's like Fallout 4, they had those like radiation storms. It's like, big deal. Like, oh, okay, cool. I'm getting radiated while I'm sitting out here. Great. That's
Cool.
fantastic.
Pop some rat away and,
Yeah, keep going, or just put on my environmental suit.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I like when games, they take the RPG approach. Because wasn't there several other games, Doug, that pretty much were designed using like GURPS or a tabletop sort of thing?
Oblivion was just D&D, basically. Like, I mean, it was more of a system that, it was closer to the gumshoe system, I should say, rather. You used a skill, you got better at the skill. If you did not use the skill, you didn't improve in it. So you'd end up for like the first 5 hours playing the game, just like tapping A to jump over and over, and you could like ramp your athletics before you even left the starting area. And that kind of made it cool, because that kind of influenced how you would play. The more of a stealthy archer you were, the better of a stealthy archer you became. As opposed to like,
totally honest with you, I didn't realize that's how I leveled up my athleticism, because I only played the game for like 10 hours when I got it, because I got it years after it came out. I was like, these graphics suck. But it's like, your athleticism went up by 11. How in the world?
Yep, same thing with like swimming and like running.
Or like acrobatics, you have to throw yourself off a cliff, so...
Yeah, pretty much. And it was one of those, I really like that level styling instead of like Skyrim's. As much as I love Skyrim, and I think you guys know how much I love Skyrim, I liked Oblivion's leveling system because it wasn't just, I can sit here and forge iron daggers up until my smithing's level 100, but then I can put the points in something else.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, I can actively just, go do what I want to do, and it gets better.
Oh, I understand completely. Now, wasn't Mass Effect another one of those games that was kind of more on the tabletop?
The BioWare, like, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, Mass Effect, the first one more so
Yeah.
than the other two, they had like the RPG mechanics of not necessarily that if you use it you get better at it, but they had these skill trees and talent trees that the more you decide to invest in something, the more powerful you're going to get, as opposed to the modern like here's like Far Cry Primal, here's 3 trees. If the more you get into another one, the less you can invest in anything else.
Mhm.
In like Mass Effect, you could always go back and kind of retool your character.
I like that. I don't
Which-
like being stuck in one build, basically.
I mean, especially like Skyrim. I remember playing Skyrim and be like, I'm gonna do this, and then I end up becoming a sneaky archer. Every gameplay turns into a sneaky archer for me because it's so easy to pick up a bow and just like,
I'm not gonna play Destiny with you.
why is that? No, the sneaky archer.
Nice.
See, the thing going back to the Fallout New Vegas that I really liked about it though is that you could start that game over and play it a million different ways.
Oh yeah.
No
Yeah.
matter what, it's like, oh man, I'm really tired of this high charisma, like good or full luck guy winning everything at the casino. I really want to make somebody who's more of like a gunslinger kind of thing. You restart it, you can just skip over the campaign, go right to the strip and get started. And
Pretty much.
that's one of the things that I enjoyed the most about this game. And if you wanted to take things seriously or not seriously, you could always engage the wacky wasteland perk, which was awesome.
Oh, I love
Plus,
that.
wasn't there a hardcore mode that you can turn on where you have to sleep in a
Yes.
bed every once in a while? You have to drink water and food.
Yes, they have that for New Vegas and for Fallout 4, and it is the most frustrating that I have ever done in my life. It's like, yeah, oh crud, Deathclaw just showed up out of nowhere. I have to run and find a bed, but I can't sleep until it's dead.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing with Skyrim and its Frostfire mod. Like, I would like to consider myself fairly decent at Skyrim. I found Black Reach, and I found a lot of the stuff in Black Reach, so I mean, I feel like I'm decent at Skyrim. Turn on Frostfire, it's like, good lord, I'm like a child again. Like, I don't know how to construct a fire and survive. It's just, I die every 5 minutes. What's going on? But I like that level of difficulty that you can turn on at the beginning, and it's an ability that you can just kind of play the game through and see how it works.
I
If
can
that
dig it.
makes sense.
No, absolutely makes sense. Anything else about Fallout?
I just like disappointing a lot of different people, so that's a good thing.
See, I'm just excited to finish up with Fallout 3 so we can move on to New Vegas. I'm guessing that I'm going to have the same vote of having a stupid character.
Oh, it's basically going to be the same character. You
Yeah.
completed 3, got shot in the head, and started up, like got transported to the Mojave Desert.
So basically, any intelligence learned, he's basically going to.
Yeah, gone.
Pretty much.
I have the theory. I have the idea for your stream. Take it as you would use it. End it at Mothership Zeta. Like you finish Mothership Zeta and they beam you down, but they beam you down to Vegas.
Nice.
And
I think I can do that.
Okay. Anyway, let's moving on to the next topic. Left 4 Dead 3. Left 4
I
Dead
should
creators
say-
working on unannounced title in a globally known franchise.
And that's what we call clickbait.
Well,
That, my friends, is cannibalism.
that's frowned upon in most places.
Exactly.
Okay, so anybody who's really kept an eye out for Left 4 Dead stuff knows that Turtle Rock Studios.
Yes, Turtle Rock Studios. Totally know about them. Go on.
Well, they did a lot of the Left 4 Dead stuff.
Oh, of course they did.
Then they went on to work on Evolve.
And that failed miserably.
And so they said, "Hey, we're working on a globally known franchise." They do some stuff, still dabble with Left 4 Dead still. I hope they make Left 4 Dead 3. Because
I kind of want to see Left 4 Dead 3 and what's the Half-Life 3 to kind of be
I was about to
released.
say Half-Life
plot,
3 confirmed.
plot twist, Half-Life 3.
No, they'll never release Half-Life 3.
Plot twist, Half-Life 3 confirmed.
No, because it makes sense because they're all kind of in the same like world. Half-Life, Portal, and Left 4 Dead, aren't they?
Yeah. That's
So
the
it'd be
theory.
really
is.
interesting that's Half-Life 3 and Left 4 Dead 3 kind of can intersect. Where
No, I
we
don't
kind
want
of
that.
get a mention, not like intersect, but just like we get mention of a Gordon Freeman who's working on the cure for the purple flu or whatever it was in Left 4 Dead. I don't know.
I don't remember what it was called. I have Left 4 Dead. I should play it again. I really liked the Left 4 Dead series. But Left 4 Dead 2, it just ended, and it was like, okay. But now,
let me tell you,
there's 2 games that have taken its place. Warhammer.
Fortnite.
No, God, no.
What-
Warhammer, Vermintide, and Vermintide 2.
Hmm.
I own Vermintide, and it is basically Left 4 Dead, down to the enemies, the special enemies' abilities. It's
Yep.
pretty much exactly Left 4 Dead.
But like Renaissance.
Yeah. It's really, really good. I want to pick up not Left 4 Dead 2, Vermintide 2, because it's just really kind of cool. There's also a Warhammer 40k one. I think it was Deathwing Martyrs or something.
Yes, I was actually about to say that. That looks really fun.
And it looks like it's basically Left 4 Dead with Ultramarines.
But how can we
Or
involve
the-
Slanesh?
Always involves Slanesh.
Always Slanesh is involved.
Um,
Yeah, always Slanesh is involved.
Wait.
Sandwiches.
Meesh, do you not know Warhammer 40k?
No.
Oh, okay.
You need to go to r//grimdank.
Listen, so
No,
I'm not gonna go to. I am not gonna go to any Reddit. Any Mildew cabin members who may have heard that, don't go there.
Don't go to it.
But anyways, I never really got into Left 4 Dead because I never had people to play it with, and it was always one of those games that if you were playing with people, it was so much more fun.
Yeah,
I played online with randoms. It was great.
I got
Well, good for you for having internet.
okay.
assigned into a random team one time. They're like, Sam, because I'm like, they were looking at like they looked at my last name. I think I went to high school with you. It's like probably not.
Probably not
I don't-
disconnected.
So
Disconnected.
sorry, my dad is calling me to go shoot this bear in our Russian wilderness that I don't live in America with.
I gotta go get the jumper cables.
So if they are, I'm looking forward to it. Like, they're
Okay,
this
let me tell you
studio
something.
has kind of been screwed over with Evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you something real fast. Left 4 Dead is the only game to make me super anxious because it's not like a game where you can just like, oh, there's 10 zombies in this world. Let me just go ahead and kill them all. It's like, no. Here's the AI director, and oh hey, you're not using a lot of ammo. Yeah, you'll get even less ammo.
Well,
Not using health packs. No health packs at all.
my
Oh, you're
favorite
using
thing about
too many
it
health packs.
is
No health packs.
the complete random generation of every single time you play through it. So you're like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna go through and I'm going to just do it this way. I remember there used to be a witch around this corner, and you go around the corner and the witch isn't there, and you're like, wait a minute, what? And then you turn around and instead there's like a brute, and you're like, crap, what just happened here?
Yes, and then they changed it in Left 4 Dead 2, and I believe it was the Hard Rain map, where the witch could walk around.
Yes.
That doesn't bode well. You startled the witch. Well, time for me to disconnect.
The best thing to come out of Left 4 Dead is the coach character model.
Yeah.
Bills.
Bill's here.
Bouncy
Kittyland.
Duck shoes.
Yes. I love the duck shoes video.
Okay, so the second best thing is the fact that you can use that character in Source Filmmaker, because Source Filmmaker is one of those things that I'm not sure if we should be proud of or not.
We should
But I
always
get-
be proud of.
I can never decide whether or not I should be ashamed that this is what the humans are creating, or B, this is what we're creating. This is why we're awesome.
This
I'd
is
like,
our
to point out
technology.
I'd like to point out you semantics. You said, and this is what the humans have created.
Well, yeah, because you know that's the first thing the
exactly
aliens are
what
going to encounter.
Sim would say.
I'm either way, like Turtle Rock Studio, they've only made FPS games, except for one game.
Yes, I remember that game.
It was like a mobile game.
Yeah,
So
I know. You don't have to tell me. Totally know.
So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. Like, for what it was, Evolve was really good. Like, the idea that 4 people are going up against one enemy and one enemy alone, and that enemy continuously got better, I like that idea. That's not what killed the game. What killed
It's
the
like,
game
yeah.
was their screwy DLC special edition, mostly special edition stuff. Like, if you order this special edition, you get this, but if you order this special edition, you get this, and it's like, that's what killed the game.
Wasn't it like that, and then also the game Prey came out at the same time, and
No.
Mhm.
Prey and Evolve did not come out at the same time.
it did not come out at the same time?
Not
Okay.
Yeah,
Really?
Sam.
Not
trying to-
nearly.
I was trying to remember what that game. I haven't played either of them, so I was trying to figure out what the difference between both of them was.
Evolve, basically, it's like going up against 4 people, 4 hunters, going up against a giant kaiju on foot, and they each
Oh,
had their
nice.
different skill, and the monster could, like, they would attack the hunters and continuously get, like, DNA points and continuously upgrade.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it was
So kind of like the old game type Predator in Halo 2. Did you guys ever play that online?
yes. Well, not online, but I know of it.
Nice.
So I'm excited to see where they go. I really want a Left 4 Dead 3, but I want to see where they innovate that. Because, like, if they just shoot out another game and it's like, it's Left 4 Dead 3, what did you add? Not a whole lot. I think it can look a lot better. So, I have more strong feelings about Left 4 Dead than I have a feeling than all of you here.
Probably.
Probably.
Well, I do like Left 4 Dead, like the original one, how they lit like a movie every time you went through and played the game. It was fantastic. It's like in loving memory of, and if your character didn't make it to the drop zone, it's like, oh, hey, look, it's that character.
Exactly. I like that.
The wall of shame at the very end, because you could totally go through and jump on the escape transport and leave all your friends behind.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I hope they do something else, but we'll see where they go. All right, last but not least, Doug, I feel like you might be able to fill us in a little bit more.
Well, I mean, I can't really open up the link because I'm afraid my computer will crash. But
I'll read it.
basically, Jared Leto has been either confirmed or rumored to be playing Morbius, the living vampire.
He confirmed
in Okay, confirmed.
Yeah.
A Spider-Man spin-off film.
Does I was gonna say, does that fit?
It does, and I'm kind of glad they're kind of introducing more monsters and magic to the DC, well, not DC, MCU. In that we are now getting to the point where we have magic with Doctor Strange, and we're kind of getting a living vampire, which really opens up a lot of the darker characters, like
Blade.
Blade is one of them. Blade would be a perfect character to add to the MCU, as long as it's Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I feel like by going and saying we're going to take more bizarre characters, we are going to introduce more to the MCU and give ourselves another Loki. Morbius isn't a bad guy per se, but he's not a good guy. So I feel like if we give ourselves more villains that aren't, look at me, I'm going to, wring my hands evil, but just like, okay, that I see their point. Like Thanos. Thanos, I feel like, was one of those villains that you expected him to be the, hand-wringing, evil, laughing villain, but then you're like, hold on, he has some points. Okay, I'm with him up until a certain event. Then he kind of becomes a jerk, but I mean, he has a point. He's just now a jerk with a point.
Yeah, I get you.
Whereas, like, people like, and the MCU's been getting better about this. People like Obadiah Stane from Iron Man 1, which is like, okay, you're just a jerk to be a jerk.
It took me a second to remember who Obadiah Stane was.
As opposed to someone like Killmonger from Black Panther.
See, the thing about this one is that Jared Leto, it's like, wait, didn't he just finish playing the Joker in the DC, the spin-off, Garbage Fire that was,
Suicide Squad?
Suicide Squad, yeah.
You mean the award-winning Suicide Squad?
Oscar-winning, correct yourself.
Right.
Dumpster fire. Okay, anyway.
Listen,
I was like,
the Joker was an entirely unnecessary character in that
Yeah.
entire movie.
Basically.
I don't know.
See,
I don't care.
See, the thing about it though is that it's like, okay, it's Jared Leto. I'm not a huge fan of Leto. Like, he does a decent job at what he does, but his whole like acting approach,
His
really-
Hot Topic allure.
yeah, is really that. But also, this just reminded me of the Venom movie coming out. So they did that along with this particular movie as well. So this is just kind of like a spin-off movie where it introduces his character, kind of like the Venom movie. Is that correct?
I think the Venom movie is not in the MCU.
Really?
Oh,
So they're just keeping it separate?
Mm-hmm. Whereas I think Morbius is going to be part of the MCU. Am I correct on that, Derek?
I believe so. Yes,
Well-
I think so.
But for me, it's kind of interesting to take it this way because if you introduce a villain this way, and then later on have them fight against, for example, Spider-Man, that movie will mean so much more because it's like, I know the background of this guy, and it's like, I kind of understand where they're coming from, just like we were talking about with Thanos in the newest Infinity Wars. It's like, hey, I get where he's coming from. I don't agree with him, but it's like, you have a point, but I think that you're wrong, and you kind of get a more feel for the characters instead of, oh, hey, guess what? This dude just showed up out of nowhere. Like, oh,
And I think
Yeah.
by making him the hero of his own story, fighting off another hero of their own story, it kind of lets you get more of the Captain America Civil War feeling where you're just like, I understand where Tony's coming from, but I understand where Captain America's coming from. It makes you, the viewer, have to kind of pick a side.
Well, and it's one of those things. There's two sides to every conflict, and once you see both sides, then it's hard to pick a side. There's only like two things I have to say about this one. Number one, I think they did well casting, like a typecasting, because everyone expects every comic book character to look like the comic books, and I think he definitely has the facial structure to support it. Now the other thing, if it wasn't going to be him, they needed to get the actor who played It, the clown in It.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, so I think either of those two would have been a good choice, just for like
you
the
mean Tim
image of
Curry.
the person.
Tim Curry.
Um, You mean be quiet?
Only if
So-
Morbius can be wearing a dress. Like,
Well,
Dr.
The
Frankenfurter.
thing is that so I agree with you with Venom. Venom is kind of one of those, like, he can do good things, but also he does what he wants to. And with this anti-hero type thing that they're setting up, it gives him a lot more things to do down the road. Like, yeah, you can set him up as an anti-hero, and then later down the road he becomes like a pivotal role in something with the heroes, but then he can also be used on the evil side and do all that stuff. So it's a very versatile role that they can put him into. But I mean, I watched The No earlier, and they did a whole thing on this as well, and I'm looking forward to it. Like, I don't know anything about Morbius or whatever, but I do know that Spider-Man needs to stop having doctor people around him because they always go bad.
Stop.
I don't know. I kind of like the Doctor motif. Like, hey, it's one of those, like, they can be bad guys.
Okay, he can have doctor friends, but they can't have the same initials for the names.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael Morbius, yeah.
Otto Octavius or whatever the Doc Ock was.
The Green
Well,
Goblin.
Peter Parker, Bruce Banner, you know, Peter
Yeah,
Parker.
it's obviously a thing, but
Alliteration is just fun.
if only that slight, like, okay, Deadpool would obviously point this out. If he just had a conversation with Spider-Man, be like, so all these guys who had the same initials and just happened to be doctors ended up being bad guys?
Wade Wilson. And then I have a strong feeling
He
he's
just
like,
looks at
oh
the
my
camera.
god, I did it myself. So
I can see him just like do a spike at the camera, Office style, and just like take that, Jim.
I like it. Anything else, gentlemen?
I think that's all I had to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of information. It's kind of like Jake the Gyllenhaal joining as Mysterio, which kind of is interesting. That Morbius is kind of a bad guy. Mysterio is a bad guy. Maybe we're gonna start getting more Spider-Man mythos and lore in the series.
I like
The
it.
other
I hope
thing
so.
is, what happens when Marvel releases their version of Suicide Squad and like blows DC out of the water? Is that like the ultimate insult?
Well, Marvel would never introduce their own Suicide Squad because the Suicide Squad
Well,
is
I know.
DC.
Well,
I know
here's-
Suicide Squad, but I'm saying like
Oh.
super villains kind of thing. Like, oh hey, cool.
Here's
idea
the thing. DC has already been yelled at for trying to do what Marvel's been doing. And so if it'll go the same way with Marvel because people will be like, no, we got on DC for this. You guys aren't cool for doing it either. And
no,
number
but Marvel straight prints money, dude.
Yeah,
right. Number
basically.
2, they're going to get a lot of ridicule for bringing out this Captain Marvel movie. It hasn't been announced yet, but that last scene after the Infinity War,
Mhm.
that was Captain Marvel. That was introducing Captain Marvel to
Oh, yeah.
everything. And so they're going to get a lot of flack because they're, oh no, that's Superman. You guys just copied Superman. So in the same way, if they did a Suicide Squad type thing, they're just going to get yelled at. And I think
At
that's
this
coming
point-
for Marvel's Captain Marvel.
The funny part about this though is that Marvel and DC have been doing this for years. Have
Yeah.
they not?
To be fair, let me share some knowledge with you. And then DC, Shazam, his official name is Mr. Marvel.
Nice.
So I mean, I don't think Marvel's ever going to get accused of copying DC because it's like copying your own work.
Oh, here's how I think I want to end on this because I think this is actually precisely what's going to happen. Man, I can't believe Marvel is copying DC. DC did Suicide Squad. Now they're doing Suicide Squad. Yeah, I'll take 2 adult tickets to the 12:30 DC or Marvel's I don't know,
Suicide Squad?
villains. The villains. I don't know. That's
Yeah, they don't
exactly
come
how
up
it'll
with
be.
like a fancy name for it.
I couldn't think of
the
it at the time.
villains.
Take that, bad guys.
I think there is one more valuable thing to add to this podcast.
I
And-
bought rollerblades.
No, not quite. We should recap on one thing that I saw yesterday. We should recap on the fact that when Disney buys Fox, they have been told they have to sell all of the sports channels.
Yes.
Yes.
So we don't have to worry about sports being introduced into the Marvel universe.
Peyton Manning throws a ball to Spider-Man. Just like, what?
Go long, Peter.
It would be like that indoor football, like the Prisoner Rules football, but it'd just be superheroes.
It's a blood dome. Nice. I like it.
It'd be like the Ultimate Showdown.
Oh my god, we're getting closer to it. All right, gentlemen. Anything else?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Yep.
I'm good. All right, then, everybody. We will see you on the next episode of the Gaming and Chill podcast. So until then, I hope you have a good one.
Thanks for stopping by.
Did you know we've updated our privacy policy?
Thanks, guys. And thank you to all of our listeners out there, because we really couldn't do it without you. We hope you enjoyed this week's Gaming and Chill podcast. If you'd like to know more about the podcast, follow us on social media, or learn how to support the podcast directly, check us out at www.gamingandchillpodcast.com. Also, be sure to stay up to date with Gaming and Chill by following us on Twitter at gaming_in_chill. Yes, that is gaming_in as in Nancy _chill. You can also find links to the articles, games, and videos mentioned in this podcast in the description below. Thanks again for watching, and until next time.